Welcome to the GFY Podcast, a podcast by healthcare professionals providing insight on how to navigate your health so that you can go fix yourself. The GFY Podcast is hosted by Mike Bruno, a chiropractor and athletic trainer, and me, Michael Stanton, an athletic trainer and certified strength conditioning specialist. Although we are healthcare providers, we are not your healthcare provider. We will discuss general health interventions in this podcast, but you should not take that as health advice that works in every situation. Before doing anything on your own or making any lifestyle changes, please consult with your own physician. This podcast and the views expressed here are separate from our full-time jobs and represent our own opinions. If you're enjoying the GFY podcast, please leave us a review on your listening platform and subscribe to our podcast on YouTube. Link to our show can be found in the show notes on whatever platform you're listening to. This episode and future episodes released on Saturdays will be solo episodes hosted by me. I'll be using this time to review a specific health intervention and wellness topic in depth or to give some insight on something in the news that is getting coverage. Try and review the research and science behind it. These episodes are designed to be about 10 minutes in length, to help you gain some insight onto a specific treatment, and really just gives me an opportunity to learn a little bit as well. So for this episode and the next few episodes that I'm going to do, I'm going to examine popular New Year's resolutions. One of the most common resolutions I see is the goal to give up caffeine. It makes sense why this is a target. The majority of the world consumes caffeine in some form. Me as well. A study from 2014 showed that 85% of the U.S. population consumes at least one caffeinated beverage daily. The average daily intake is around 165 milligrams or 2.2 milligrams per kilogram of body weight. Interestingly, caffeine intake seems to increase with age as well, with those between the ages of 50 to 64 having the highest average intake. Just for reference for what all these numbers actually mean, a standard 12-ounce cup of coffee ranges from 120 milligrams to 180 milligrams of caffeine. Generally speaking, consuming 400 milligrams or less of caffeine per day, so about 2 or 3 cups of coffee, has not been associated with adverse health effects and is considered safe for most adults. So if it's generally safe, why do people want to quit it? And should you? So let's kind of look at the good, the bad, and a little bit of the science behind caffeine and how it works and why it could be good or bad for you. So let's start with the positives. Caffeine is widely consumed in coffee, tea, soft drinks, and energy drinks, but not all the sources are created equal. Research suggests that caffeine, specifically coffee consumption, is associated with some impressive health benefits. A few of them here is weight loss and metabolic health. It has been linked to improved glucose tolerance and a lower risk of type 2 diabetes. Neurological protection. It may reduce the risk of diseases such as Parkinson's and even improve symptoms in those who already have it. And then it also is in cancer risk reduction as well. And there's some evidence suggesting reduced risk for certain cancers with consumption of coffee. So why does this happen? Part of the benefit comes from the antioxidants in the coffee beans. These antioxidants counteract what are called reactive oxygen species. And by counteracting them, they help reduce the oxidative damage in your body. At a cellular level, caffeine also has something called an anti-proliferation effect. This means it can decrease the rate at which cells multiply and increase apoptosis. Apoptosis, exactly. Program cell death that helps your body clear out broken or damaged cells. This mechanism is one theory on why caffeine may inhibit the growth of liver cancer cells. More research has also been shown coffee and tea to be neuroprotective in general, kind of similar to what its effect in Parkinson's, and it's actually potentially able to prevent against diseases like Alzheimer's. Very new research, all theory-based. Take it as you will. Now, there's a huge caveat here. These health benefits are generally observed when drinking coffee or tea in a natural low-calorie state. If your coffee is actually a calorie bomb loaded with cream and sugar, or if your caffeine comes from sugary sodas and energy drinks, those health benefits may be reduced by the negative effects of sugar and excess calorie intake. Unfortunately, recent data from 2025 shows that while average caffeine intake is increasing, it's largely driven by increases in coffee, carbonated soft drinks, and energy drinks, while tea consumption is actually decreasing. So we rather see it in coffee and tea in general. So about the bad. So what is the downside of coffee, tea, carbonated beverages? What's the downside of caffeine in general? So first, excessive intake, the greater than 400 milligram number that I talked about earlier, can lead to hypertension or high blood pressure and potential cardiovascular issues. So, you worry about any type of cardiovascular disease, heart attack, things like that. The biggest issue, and probably one most people might ignore, and you kind of drink caffeine for this reason, is sleep. Sleep is critical for preventing diseases and maintaining mental, cognitive, and physical health. Chronic insufficient sleep increases the risk of diabetes, heart disease, and mental health disorders. So here's what the research says about caffeine and sleep. Caffeine has been shown to decrease total sleep time by 45 minutes. It reduces sleep efficiency, your ability to fall asleep and stay asleep, by about 7%. It specifically reduces deep sleep, which is crucial for physical and cognitive recovery. During that deep sleep time, when we talk about caffeine, that's kind of where that apostasis and how the cleanup of cells and bad cells occur during that time as well. So the biggest thing here with caffeine and sleep is the timing that you're intaking it. So the half-life of caffeine in the bloodstream is estimated to be anywhere from 2 to 10 hours, more so on the later side, but it can be shorter depending on a person's tolerance and how they metabolize it. Research suggests that a standard cup of coffee, so in this article that I'm revealing is 107 milligrams, should be consumed at least 8.8 hours prior to bedtime to avoid significant disruption. So that same article also went further to say if you take a pre-workout supplement, which is about 200 milligrams, so think 2 cups of coffee in one shot, you might need to take that 13 hours prior to bedtime so it doesn't disrupt your sleep. So if you have coffee and you go to bed at 10 p.m., you really shouldn't be drinking any caffeine past noon. Or if you're having higher doses, it really shouldn't be anything past 9 a.m. There's a quick note here, black tea, because it actually has such lower caffeine levels, can actually be consumed closer to bedtime without significant sleep reduction, which could be a great alternative for people that just really struggle not to have a different taste of something else in the evening time. So one quick backtrack is going to be to sports performance. So caffeine is a highly effective ergogenic aid. Ergogenic just means helps with performance. So it helps in almost all sports, from endurance events like running and cycling to high intensity power sports like soccer, basketball, and hockey. And while it is banned at extremely high levels by the NCAA, you would need to consume a massive amount. You're probably taking it in pill form or something to trigger a positive result. For the average athlete and for most people, it is safe and an effective performance booster. So should you give up caffeine for your New Year's resolution? Probably not. Instead of limiting it, try to optimize it or minimize it, everything in moderation, essentially. So I'm going to give you 5 rules surrounding caffeine consumption. 1, keep it natural. Stick to coffee and tea to get the antioxidant benefits without the sugar crash. Try to keep that stuff to, minimal sugar or creams and stuff like that. Just keep the calories low. Watch the dose. Keep your daily intake under 400 milligrams, so 2 to 3 cups of coffee. Pregnant women should stay under 200 milligrams, according to the World Health Organization. And then the children and adolescents should limit intake to about 2.5 milligrams per kilogram of body weight. Pay attention to your clock. To protect your sleep, stop drinking caffeine. We'll kind of go in the middle of what that research study said, 10 hours before bed. If you sleep at 10 p.m., cut yourself off at noon. The 90-minute rule. So this one, if you really want to kind of find a sweet spot with your caffeine, and this is actually from sleep scientist Matthew Walker and something I heard on the Human Lab podcast, you should actually wait to have your cup of coffee until 90 minutes after waking. How this works, that allows the adenosine. That's kind of how caffeine works. It goes on these adenosine receptors and it helps give you alertness. The adenosine kind of clears out, and that coffee can work a little bit more. So this allows the adenosine to clear, preventing that, that afternoon crash that some people get with caffeine. And listen to your body. Everyone has a little bit different tolerance. Some people can drink a cup of coffee at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and it doesn't affect their sleep. If you're not sure how it affects you, we have all the wearable technology now. You can track your sleep and kind of see what it does. Pay attention to what you eat, what you drink, and see if it kind of screws up your sleep cycle. So all these smartwatches, they all can track your sleep. I highly recommend doing it just so you can kind of get a sense of when you sleep well or when you sleep poorly, and you can make those connections. So if your resolution was to quit caffeine, maybe just refine your relationship with it instead. You can keep the brain benefits and the athletic performance, just lose the sleep disruption. So I hope you enjoyed this review on caffeine. If you enjoyed this episode or any other episode of the GFY podcast, please leave us a review on your favorite listening platform or YouTube. If you have not already, please subscribe or follow us. You can find links to our socials in the show notes and subscribe to the Well Informed newsletter as well. Have a great day.